Small changes don't look powerful at first, but this book claims they decide your entire future.
Every day, people repeat tiny actions without thinking, unaware they're shaping who they become.
Atomic Habits starts with one idea. Habits are small, but their impact compounds.
Progress rarely arrives overnight. It quietly builds through repetition.
Many people chase goals, yet stay stuck at repeating the same behaviors.
The book reframes success as a system, not a single outcome.
Tiny habits, repeated, separate long-term winners from everyone else.
At the core of habit change is identity, not willpower.
Habits stick when they reinforce the identity you want to adopt. Each action is a vote for the type of person you are becoming.
Environment often matters more than motivation.
The book shows how surroundings silently shape behavior. Make good habits obvious and bad ones harder to reach. Clarity beats motivation when habits feel automatic.
The smaller the habit, the easier it is to start.
Consistency matters more than intensity in the beginning.
Tiny actions, done daily, quietly reshape your trajectory.
And this is only the foundation of how habits truly work. With the foundation set, the book breaks habits into a simple four-step loop.
Every habit follows the same pattern, whether good or bad.
A cue triggers the brain to start a behavior automatically.
The craving is the desire for a change in your internal state.
The reward teaches your brain whether the habit is worth repeating.
Change any part of the loop, and the habit begins to change. To build good habits, start by making the cue obvious.
The book emphasizes designing your environment before relying on discipline.
Remove cues for bad habits, and they lose much of their power. Visibility makes habits easier to remember and repeat.
The next rule is to make habits attractive.
We naturally imitate the habits of people around us.
Behavior feels normal when it's socially reinforced.
Joining the right group makes good habits feel effortless.
Enjoyment increases the likelihood of repetition.
When habits feel good, they stick.
And the next rule shows how to make habits almost effortless.
The third law focuses on making habits easy to do.
Humans naturally follow the path of least resistance.
Reduce friction, and good habits happen with less effort.
The book introduces the idea of the 2-minute rule.
New habits should take less than 2 minutes to start.
Small actions create momentum for bigger change. Consistency builds skill through repetition, not intensity.
Message stays clear. Simplify habits until they become automatic. Repetition turns actions into routines. Once habits are automatic, willpower is no longer required. The final law explains how habits stay satisfying. Immediate rewards reinforce repeated behavior.
The brain responds faster to instant feedback than distant rewards. Visual proof of progress keeps motivation alive.
Satisfaction is what makes habits repeat tomorrow.
Never break the chain becomes a powerful motivator.
Even when habits break, recovery matters more than perfection.
But long-term habits face a deeper challenge ahead.
Over time, habits risk becoming boring, even when they work.
Mastery requires showing up long after motivation fades.
The book calls this phase the plateau of latent potential.
Results lag behind habits, often testing patience. Professionals stick to the process, not just the outcome.
The difference between experts and amateurs is consistency under boredom.
The book reminds us that habits are about long-term identity.
Reflection and review keep habits aligned with growth.
Tracking reveals what's working and what needs change.
Systems must evolve as goals change. Feedback prevents habits from drifting into complacency.
Awareness is the first step to refinement.
Good habits compound, but so do unnoticed mistakes.
Regular resets keep habits relevant and effective.
Sustainable habits balance effort with recovery.
Rest is part of the system, not a failure.
The goal is not radical change, but reliable progress.
Over time, systems outlast motivation.
In the final section, the focus shifts from theory to everyday application. Change works best when it fits our real life, not ideal schedules. The book encourages lowering the bar to stay consistent.
Habits should adapt to seasons of life, not fight them.
Small choices repeated daily quietly reshape health and energy.
The book returns to its core message. Habits shape identity.
No! Saying no protects the habits that matter most.
Elimination is often as powerful as addition.
Planning reduces decision fatigue before it appears.
Protecting focus is a habit in itself.
Awareness keeps habits intentional instead of automatic.
Each day becomes a fresh vote for the person you want to be.
Missing once is an event, not a failure.
What matters is returning to the system quickly.
Habits succeed when they forgive human imperfection.
The framework stays simple, even as life gets complex.
Direction matters more than speed.
Habits are how time turns actions into outcomes.
One final perspective brings everything together.
In the end, Atomic Habits is about shaping your life through daily choices.
Change doesn't require intensity, only consistency. The system quietly pulls you forward each day.
The promise is not transformation overnight, but direction over time. Every habit is a small decision toward a future self.
Time magnifies whatever habits you repeat.
Success becomes predictable when systems are in place.
The goal is not perfection, but alignment. Habits shape how days feel, not just how they look.
Tomorrow is prepared by what you do tonight.
Over time, small improvements redefine normal.
Identity follows repeated action.
This is the quiet power behind lasting change. Habits are not about success, but about direction. Each step reinforces the path you're on.
Progress continues by returning, again and again.
Tiny habits decide the direction of your life.
The next small action is always within reach.
And that is how change becomes inevitable.
Subscribe for Money Mindset books.